I mean, you know, when I'm betting on real fights.
Real fights, yeah.
Not saying that they're not real fighters. They're novice. They're novice professional fighters.
The result will go on official records. Knockouts are allowed. That makes sense in a professional
That's
fight.
nice of them.
Well, I mean, that usually is the case, right?
Floyd Mayweather recently dropped a bombshell revelation about the highly anticipated Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight, unveiling some surprising changes in the rules that could dramatically shift the dynamics of the bout. With his unparalleled experience and understanding of both the boxing world and entertainment-driven fights, Mayweather's insights have added yet another layer of excitement and intrigue to this unusual matchup. Teddy Atlas also shared his analysis.
I don't know. Anyway,
I mean, what were they going to do if you punched someone too hard and knocked them out?
It's not allowed.
Hey, that wasn't allowed.
Sam, I'm a little confused. I mean, does that confuse you a little bit too? Not just me, right? Or Ken, right? We have company, right?
One of the most shocking rule adjustments Mayweather revealed is the alteration to the traditional 3-minute round structure. Instead of going with the standard format, the fight will feature shorter 2-minute rounds. The goal of this change is to prioritize action-packed sequences by minimizing the time each fighter has to pace themselves. For Tyson, a shorter round may allow him to throw explosive, high-intensity punches without quickly tiring, while for Paul, it may reduce his chances of drawing Tyson into deeper rounds where experience and endurance typically come into play.
They're novice professional fighters. But when I'm betting on fights, I'm betting on fights that's top flight. But that is a top flight novice. That's the best novice fight professional novice fight that's going on right now. So may the best man win.
The fight will also be limited to 8 rounds instead of the traditional 12. While 8 rounds provide a test of skill and stamina, they reduce the likelihood of Tyson fatiguing, giving fans a more condensed but intense showdown. To ensure the safety of both fighters, Mayweather also announced some unique safety precautions being implemented for this fight. While Jake Paul has proven himself resilient in recent fights, Tyson's power is known to be devastating, even at his current age. This means additional layers of safety, like mandatory protective gloves and possibly larger glove sizes, which reduce the impact force of punches. The gloves are rumored to be 14-ounce instead of the typical 10-ounce gloves used in professional fights, which will lessen the intensity of Tyson's punches, potentially giving Paul a fighting chance.
8 2-minute rounds, not 3-minute rounds, 2-minute rounds, and 14-ounce gloves, not 10-ounce gloves. Normally pro fights are 10-ounce gloves, and no headgear, which is normal for a pro fight. Here's my question. How do you call it a professional fight if the rules you're using are not professional rules?
One of the biggest revelations Mayweather shared is the rule adjustment around knockouts and TKOs. In standard bouts, if a fighter is knocked down 3 times in a single round, the fight is automatically stopped. For this fight, however, any severe knockdown will lead to an immediate referee assessment, giving them discretion on whether to stop the fight after just one significant fall. This rule is crucial because it addresses the serious concern around Tyson's power and its potential impact on Paul's safety. Additionally, referees will be given more authority to halt the fight if they observe any signs of trouble. This is particularly relevant in a match where the physical disparity in power and age could lead to unforeseen challenges. In a shocking twist, Mayweather hinted at a limited headshot rule, meaning the fighters will be encouraged to focus more on body shots than targeting the head. This modification could significantly change the fight's flow, pushing both boxers to rely on technical skill and strategy over sheer power. For Tyson, who's known for his powerful head punches, this shift could challenge him to adapt his approach, whereas Paul, who has a longer reach, might benefit from body-focused jabs to keep Tyson at a distance.
Jake Paul, I mean, as of right now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's going to be bad.
Moreover, Mayweather hinted that the fight may lean toward an exhibition-style format rather than an official match. It is currently a professional fight, but if the fight takes the exhibition route, it will likely be scored by a panel of judges, but with no official winner declared at the end. This format allows both fighters to demonstrate their skills and entertain the audience without placing the pressure of a win-loss record on either of them. Exhibitions also offer more flexible rules, giving referees the power to step in if things get too intense. For fans hoping for a definitive outcome, this might come as a disappointment. However, Mayweather argued that the goal is to put on a spectacle, not necessarily to see a conclusive end, which could help protect both fighters' reputations and long-term health.
All I know is I'm really not trying to be, to pick at anything. I'm just putting the news out there, and I'm breaking it down as is our a way of doing things on this show. You're calling it a professional fight. We didn't know if it was going to be professional or not. They decided to sanction it as a professional fight in Texas. But it's not the professional rules of a professional fight. It's not 3-minute rounds. It's 2-minute rounds. It's not 10-ounce gloves. It's 14-ounce gloves. Yet it's being called professional.
Recently, Floyd Mayweather openly criticized Jake Paul's choice to step into the ring with Tyson, calling it disrespectful and doubting Paul's preparedness. Tyson, however, didn't hold back, responding to Mayweather's remarks and making his stance clear.
Down that pipe, see that man right there controlling the camera?
This guy right here?
Yeah, right down that pipe. Tell people who are out there saying we think Mike's too old for this fight. Tell them what you think about that.
If you think I'm too old for this fight, you need to come tell me in my face.
Whoa.
You won't.
Tyson, fresh off an intense training regimen for his upcoming showdown with Jake Paul, didn't hold back when responding to Mayweather's recent comments. In a candid and heated interview, he fired back, saying Mayweather should stick to his own business. Clearly irritated, Tyson reminded everyone of his lifelong dedication to the sport, having battled top contenders and endured countless challenges. He emphasized that no one had the right to tell him who he could or couldn't face in the ring.
Floyd's a great fighter, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He had 50 fights and he said, listen, Sugar Ray Robinson had 47 fights. He lost one, then he had 78 fight. Then he had a 78-fight winning streak.
Yeah, but you even
He had 47, lost one, then 78 winning streak.
But even more modern than that.
Knockouts.
Look at Julio Cesar Chavez. He was 84-0, right?
89, 90 and 0 before he lost.
89-0.
Tyson stressed that the choice to face Jake Paul wasn't made on a whim. He recognized Paul's commitment to rigorous training and his readiness to square off with one of boxing's most intimidating opponents. Tyson pointed out that Paul was truly putting in the effort and had the bravery to confront him, an act that few would dare to attempt. Tyson also remarked that while it's easy for outsiders to judge, someone with Mayweather's experience ought to appreciate the dedication it takes and refrain from criticism without full insight into the preparation involved.
Wow. So
Don't tell me about you the greatest fighter with 50 and 0, nigga. You're great, no doubt about it, nigga. 50 and 0. Chavez had 90.
Yeah.
He's fighting like what, 8 times a year.
Yeah, it's more to it than
whoever
that.
fought him. Whoever's in the rankings.
Well, I think it's all subjective.
Picking whoever you are, come on.
I think there are more metrics and more measurements that have to be.
Tyson seized the moment to stand up for Jake Paul in the face of Mayweather's criticisms, commending Paul's commitment to tackling real challenges in the ring. Tyson highlighted how people often criticized Paul due to his background, but argued that Jake was genuinely dedicated to boxing, not simply in it for appearances. He noted that Paul was putting in the hard work, training, sparring, and improving, and that alone warranted respect. Tyson stressed that true dedication requires heart, and Paul had repeatedly proven he was willing to risk it all, a level of commitment few of his critics would ever match.
He never really had a boxing match in his life, right?
Right.
He didn't have a boxing match, right? He went 10 rounds with the greatest fighter in the last 100 years of boxing.
No, Connor's a beast. Connor's a beast.
Think about, no. You're not listening to me. You don't understand what I'm saying. Yeah. He went 10 rounds, scored punches on the greatest fighter in the last 100 years.
Tyson looked back on his early days in boxing, remembering how he too faced skepticism when he was just starting out. He emphasized that Paul showed real heart and reminded everyone that every fighter has to start somewhere, underscoring the courage it takes to step into the ring, a courage that should never be taken lightly.
What does it mean when fighting gets you erect? What does that mean?
It's a good question. It means you're getting excited.
Yeah.
So that's going through your mind right now.
Well, that's how I get when I was a kid, and sometimes I get the twinkle.
Tyson held nothing back in his direct address to Mayweather, challenging both his outlook and motives. He hinted that Mayweather was more interested in flashy talk than facing true competition, suggesting that Mayweather's recent focus seemed to lean towards simpler exhibition matches over real, hard-fought battles. Tyson made it clear that, unlike Mayweather, he was still up for genuine challenges and wasn't chasing easy victories or quick paychecks. He hinted that Mayweather's criticisms were more about self-preservation than a true concern for boxing's future, reminding him that the sport transcends any single figure, himself included. Tyson asserted he wasn't there to seek approval, but to compete and test his limits, daring Mayweather to return to the ring if he had any real objections.
One more.
Day 3. You still want to fuck with me?
Tyson concluded his response by underscoring his unwavering commitment to facing Jake Paul. He emphasized the rigor of his training and his readiness to showcase his lasting skills in the ring, affirming that fighting is in his blood, a passion that fuels him to this day. Tyson hinted that Mayweather's remarks had only stoked his determination to deliver an electrifying performance. He emphasized that he wasn't stepping back into the ring for Mayweather or anyone else, but for himself and the fans who continued to stand by him. Mayweather's words, Tyson suggested, had simply rekindled his fighting spirit, and he was resolute in proving he still had plenty left to give. As the much-anticipated showdown between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul approaches, Tyson's spirited response to Mayweather has only fueled the excitement. Fans are buzzing, wondering if Tyson, now 58, can summon the raw intensity and power that made him a legend in his prime. On the other side, Jake Paul, facing the weight of high expectations, is undaunted by his critics and is training relentlessly for what might be the toughest fight of his life.
This question is for Jake. Obviously, Mike is one of the biggest hitters that the heavyweight division has ever seen. I just want to know, when you're thinking about his power, he looks very ferocious on Instagram, especially still. Do you feel like you'll be able to take Mike Tyson's power at this stage?
I know I will be able to. I'm a natural-born heavyweight. This is what I was born to do, is to move up into this weight class, and I'm going to show Mike who has the more power, because he's underestimating me. I think everyone else is underestimating me, and I believe that I hit harder. I know it's going to be tough. I know I'm going to have to fight through adversity. I know I might even go to the canvas. I'm scared, don't get me wrong, but it's not about the fear stopping me. It's about going into it even though I am scared, and that's what true bravery is.
Mike, can he take the power, Mike?
Excuse me?
Can Jake take your power?
We're gonna see, huh?
Tyson's reply to Mayweather is a powerful reminder that, despite the passage of time, his competitive fire burns brighter than ever. Meanwhile, Mayweather's critiques may have inadvertently motivated Tyson, pushing him to prepare for a performance that has the potential to astound once more. With the spotlight on them, it seems fans are on the brink of witnessing a truly memorable clash, especially if Tyson's recent statements are any indication. When the topic of the greatest fighters in history arises, Mike Tyson's name consistently stands out. While he has softened into a more playful persona in recent years, the ferocity that once defined him still lingers, sending shivers down the spines of fans, even as he approaches his late 50s. With a much-anticipated bout against YouTuber-turned-boxer Jake Paul on the horizon, excitement in the media is at an all-time high. UFC commentator Joe Rogan seems to be a staunch supporter of Tyson, as indicated by his recent comments, yet one iconic UFC fighter expresses skepticism about the fight's outcome. Initially scheduled for July, the eagerly awaited clash between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul was rescheduled to November due to health concerns affecting the iconic former heavyweight champion. This matchup has generated considerable buzz, particularly following Joe Rogan's comments. Now, Chael Sonnen has chimed in, questioning the reliability of Rogan's predictions. A passionate enthusiast of combat sports, Joe Rogan has long been an advocate for UFC, while also expressing his admiration for boxing during a memorable ESPN interview. Given his extensive background, he's undoubtedly well equipped to discuss the upcoming fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Yet, Rogan's prediction that Iron Mike, who is approaching his 60s, will emerge victorious has left Chael Sonnen perplexed, prompting him to question the reasoning behind such a daring forecast. Joe Rogan does make a statement. He says Mike Tyson, even at 58 years old, will still knock your head into the third realm. I don't know what evidence Joe has of that. That seems very lofty, Chael Sonnen said on his YouTube channel. Similar to Dana White, Joe Rogan believes that Mike Tyson retains a puncher's chance, attributing it to his still formidable power. In contrast, Chael Sonnen contends that such claims are unfounded, lacking the scientific backing necessary to support them. Chael Sonnen added, "The threat in the belief that just one punch, and the last thing to go is their power. There's no scientific proof that the last thing to go within a fighter's skill set is his power. There is nothing quantifiable. That is just an expression that is put out." Amid growing skepticism from commentators such as Chael Sonnen regarding Mike Tyson's readiness to face Jake Paul, the iconic boxer seems to have reached his limit. In reaction to the doubts cast on his potential performance against the YouTuber-turned-fighter, Iron Mike delivered a stern message to those questioning his capabilities. Mike Tyson was visibly tense at a recent press conference when reporters began questioning his health. However, during a recent guest spot on Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast, he sent a bold message to his critics around the globe. Tyson commended Paul, labeling him a killer and expressing faith in his ability to thrive. Then, channeling his trademark ferocity, Iron Tyson challenged any skeptics to step up and confront him in person. "If you think I'm too old for this fight, you need to come and tell me in my face," said Mike Tyson while giving a death stare to one of the cameras. For a fleeting second, it seemed as though the boxing icon had lost his composure, but the tension evaporated just as quickly, leaving the podcast to conclude with everyone smiling. Yet, seeing Tyson in his full fighting spirit remains profoundly disconcerting. This match ignites debate like few others, featuring Tyson, who remains the youngest world heavyweight champion in history, now at 58 and nearly 2 decades removed from his last fight. In contrast, Paul, though far less experienced, brings a significant advantage with his youthful vigor, 30 years younger, and an active presence in the ring against both retired MMA fighters and several boxers. Notably, he faced Tommy Fury, marking his only loss in an otherwise impressive record of 11 fights. The highly anticipated match, set to make history as a live broadcast on Netflix, is slated for 8 rounds, each lasting 2 minutes, with both competitors donning 14-ounce gloves. Despite the excitement surrounding the event, worries about the health implications for Iron Mike, which have already caused setbacks in the initial timetable, remain a significant point of concern within the boxing community. Coach Robert Garcia, renowned for his past collaborations with 2-time heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua and his current training of pound-for-pound star Jesse Rodriguez, expressed to ES News that it's utterly ridiculous to think Tyson could execute one of his iconic highlight reel knockouts. He said, "There's no way. It's like people saying Mike Tyson's gonna go out and knock Jake Paul out." Mike Tyson lost 20 years ago to bums. He lost in real fights to bums, maybe more than 20 years ago, because he's 60. Garcia has maintained that no governing authority should allow the fight to take place in any format other than an exhibition. In 2005, Tyson, still reeling from a knockout defeat to Danny Williams the previous year, left his corner during a match against Ireland's Kevin McBride, who had a record of 32 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw at the time. Tyson, who had employed dubious strategies up to that point, appeared noticeably disinterested. Following the bout, he proclaimed that the experience had exhausted him, signaling the conclusion of his professional boxing career. Despite the criticism directed at Jake Paul and his team for taking on the fight with Tyson, the former champion is still widely regarded as one of the most devastating punchers in boxing history. Joe Rogan has expressed confidence that Tyson possesses the ability to send Paul's head into another dimension with a perfectly timed blow, underscoring the enduring potency of Tyson's knockout power. During a recent episode of the Funky and the Champ podcast, Cormier addressed Rogan's comments about Tyson's chances of beating Paul. He said, "I understand that, and I get what he's saying, and I do agree when he's hitting pads. It looks like there's still something left in there, but then I watched Jake Paul fight Mike Perry. I watched Jake Paul get pressed to where he starts to feel uncomfortable, and it looked like Mike Perry had a chance. But then Jake has a reserve tank to go to and get and draw from because he's 28 years old." Cormier continued, "That is my concern, because what if this looks like a 58-year-old man fighting a 28-year-old man where Mike can't draw? I think it's a lose-lose for Jake Paul, because if you beat up Mike Tyson, everybody loves Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson actually doesn't need the money, so it's surprising to me that he's fighting. What if Mike knocks him out though? Then it's over. Everything's done. It would be an all-time backfire. Nothing's ever been done like that in the history of the sport if he gets knocked out." Turning our attention back to Mayweather, it appears he hasn't completely ruled out the possibility of a future exhibition match with Tyson. Although both of these boxing icons have stepped away from competitive fighting, they still make sporadic appearances in the ring, reaffirming their legendary status and captivating fans around the globe. Tyson is set to make a triumphant return to the ring as he prepares to face Jake Paul this November. Despite their careers being shaped in distinct eras and competing in different weight classes, the excitement surrounding their potential showdown continues to grow, especially with Mayweather expressing his eagerness to help make this match happen. At 58, Tyson presents a notably bulkier build than Mayweather. His upcoming clash with Paul could offer insights into the potential for a rematch with Mayweather. Should Tyson claim victory, we might witness the rekindling of a classic rivalry. In a recent interview, Floyd Mayweather shared his thoughts on the matter. The conversation took place inside a moving car, and Alex Montiel said to Mayweather, "Are you going to fight Tyson? He is doing exhibition fights." Mayweather responded, I don't know what the future holds for Floyd Mayweather, but I truly believe we can do anything." The former champion, who effortlessly dominated all 7 of his exhibition bouts, is undoubtedly brimming with confidence. Amidst ongoing discussions about Tyson's age leading up to his fight with Jake Paul, he appeared on Logan Paul's podcast, Impulsive, to confront the speculation head-on and clarify the facts. "If you think I am too old for this fight, you need to come. Tell me in my face," Tyson said. Imagine an intense showdown between 2 of boxing's most legendary figures, not in the electrifying atmosphere of a packed arena, but within the haunting quiet of a dimly lit alley. The question of who deserves the title of the greatest boxer is timeless, with a handful of names frequently emerging as the elite, regardless of weight class or era. Now, envision this scenario: Iron Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather engaged in a raw, rule-free street fight. In this primal clash of titans, who would emerge triumphant? While numerous professional boxers boxers display an over-the-top bravado. These two genuinely stood out as superstars who delivered on their promises with outstanding performances in the ring. Despite sharing captivating personalities, their similarities faded the moment they stepped into the squared circle, exposing styles that were as contrasting as light and dark. Growing up in the unforgiving streets of Brooklyn, Mike Tyson was shaped by a landscape defined by violence and conflict from an early age. Dubbed Iron Mike, he channeled the raw intensity of his challenging upbringing into the boxing ring, where each devastating punch held the power to shatter the aspirations of his opponents. Despite being hailed as one of the most formidable heavyweight champions in history, he shattered conventional expectations. Standing at just under 6 feet, he didn't possess the towering height or extensive reach typical of his peers. Yet, Tyson's exceptional talent was undeniable. His signature peekaboo style, a brilliant combination of bobbing, weaving, and evading punches, allowed him to slip through defenses and deliver devastating knockout blows that left his opponents reeling. A fighting style that seamlessly merges into street combat, particularly when complemented by prior street fighting experience, could give him a significant edge. In this scenario, even a veteran like Floyd Mayweather might encounter an unexpected disadvantage. Imagine Mike Tyson as a formidable lion, embodying raw power and insatiable hunger, while Floyd Mayweather transforms into a swift gazelle, renowned for his incredible agility and instinctive skill within the ring. Tyson, famously dubbed the baddest man on the planet, firmly believes he would prevail over Mayweather in a street brawl. "I would kick Floyd's ass. There wouldn't even be no match," said Tyson in an interview with GQ. Tyson relied heavily on his raw strength in a street fight, yet he admitted that he'd feel significantly less assured in a boxing ring where the weight favored Floyd. Curiously, he mentioned that if the match had taken place in the 147 to 154-pound range, he thinks Mayweather would have emerged victorious. He conceded, "If I was his size in the ring, he would probably outpoint me." Outside the realm of thrilling street brawls, it's clear that Mike Tyson has immense respect for Floyd Mayweather. Both fighters are destined to be remembered as two of boxing's greatest champions, celebrated for their remarkable achievements in the ring. Who can say what the future holds? Given the recent developments in boxing, the possibility of this long-anticipated showdown becoming a reality is more intriguing than ever. In a striking move, Mayweather ignited controversy by unveiling his personal list of the top 5 greatest boxers of all time. The retired champion, famous for his impeccable 50-0 record, has long proclaimed himself as the best ever, a title he holds with unwavering confidence. Unsurprisingly, he placed himself among the elite in his own rankings. Yet, it was his other choices that ignited intense discussions and differing opinions.
We gotta go Pernell Whitaker. Ooh, Sweet Pete. Sweet Pete was amazing, man. We gotta go Pernell Whitaker. Nah, Sweet Pete was top. Nah, Sweet Pete real, boy. Pernell Whitaker. Fuck that. I'm with you. I'm gonna go Pernell Whitaker. I'm gonna go Roberto Duran. I'm gonna go Pernell Whitaker, Roberto Duran. Man, you put me in a type of predicament. Gotta hear it. Far as with the heavyweights, man. Tell him no hits. Tell the crew no hits. No hits. No hits. I want the pure Floyd Mayweather top 5. I don't want nobody giving no ad-libs and shit. Okay, I know I got Money Mayweather, you got Duran, and you got Sweet Pea. You got 2 more. Give me a heavyweight. If we gonna go heavyweights, I'm being honest. I got to go Larry Holmes.
Mayweather elaborated on Larry Holmes' defeat to Tyson, attributing it to the prowess of a formidable rising champion, especially considering that Holmes had just returned from a year-long retirement before that fight. Nonetheless, Mayweather expressed his admiration for Holmes, emphasizing the boxer's strong fundamentals, particularly his devastating jab. He also noted that Holmes has maintained a flourishing lifestyle thanks to his savvy investment decisions. Mayweather remarked that Holmes' achievements have persisted from the early stages of his career all the way to its conclusion.
Ooh, that was a good one. Larry Holmes. Now, I don't take Larry over Tyson. I don't take Larry over Lennox. I'm just keeping it real. But do you want me to give you the breakdown? I mean, give me the breakdown, because I got to understand this one. And Larry Holmes is a living legend. I grew up watching him. I grew up watching him. Because Larry Holmes beat everybody in this era. When Larry Holmes got beat by Mike Tyson, he got beat by a young, hungry champion, and he came out of years retirement and got beat by Tyson.
Tyson took aim at Floyd's grandiose self-perception, implying that if Floyd genuinely possessed the same level of greatness as Muhammad Ali, he would be capable of handling ordinary responsibilities, such as driving his children to school. Tyson pointed out that Floyd's failure to manage even these basic tasks undermines his claims of being great. He emphasized that authentic greatness isn't marked by detachment from others, but by being surrounded and supported by them. In Tyson's perspective, Floyd's struggle with such a straightforward duty exposes him as someone small and fearful at heart.
Is Ali the same fighter that got beat by a fighter with 7 fights? Every time boxing come on, you don't bring up Muhammad Ali name. You don't bring up Mike Tyson name. You always bring up Floyd Mayweather name.
What do you think about Floyd talking about greater than Ali?
He's very delusional. If he was anywhere near that realm of greater than Ali, he'd be able to take his kids to school by himself.
There we go.
Okay, he can't take his kid to school by himself. And he talking about he's great. Greatness is not guarding yourself from the people. Greatness is being accepted by the people.
In the ring, Mike Tyson's punches have a way of resonating deeply, leaving opponents with an indelible mark, as if each blow carves its presence into their very flesh. His matches often transform into intense arenas of violence, where his ferocity is unmatched, and every hit lands with explosive force. However, as Tyson prepares to battle Jake Paul, the question looms, will this matchup adhere to the familiar pattern of his past brutalities? It seems that a friend of Tyson is holding out hope for a result that deviates from the savage spectacles of his earlier days. At 58 years old, Tyson made a guest appearance on the popular Impulsive podcast alongside Logan Paul. During their engaging conversation, they explored various topics, including WWE, their boxing experiences, and Tyson's forthcoming fight with Logan's younger brother. While some critics raise eyebrows about Tyson's age and question whether his reflexes have faded, both fans and analysts still recognize his incredible knockout strength. The prospect of the problem child landing flat on the mat remains a distinct possibility. Yet, it's a situation that Tyson's close friend hopes to avoid at all costs. When asked about his team's thoughts on his upcoming fight against Paul, the fighter with a 56 record shared an interesting phone call he had with a friend. Tyson disclosed that his friend expressed worry over the possibility of him inflicting injury on his rival. He said, "My friend called me. Don't hurt him, Mike. You better do that." Naturally, the elder of the Paul brothers, Logan, puzzled, asked, "Wait, what? Your friend is vouching for Jake?" Baddest man on planet continued and reaffirmed it. He added, "Yeah, but he said don't hurt him. He is a YouTuber. Don't hurt him, Mike. He's in the ring with me. What the f are you talking about?" The boxing community finds itself divided in its assessment of the forthcoming clash. Should Tyson unleash his full power for a commanding victory, or adopt a more tactical approach to preserve his stamina? Adding to the uncertainty are lingering worries about the Brooklyn fighter's health, including his ongoing struggles with sciatica, recent hip surgery, and general endurance. On the other side, while his opponent boasts an impressive 10-1 record, he has yet to demonstrate his skills against elite competition. Nonetheless, Tyson is approaching this match with the utmost seriousness and dedication. Tyson also shed light on how he saw Paul, and Iron Mike is not underestimating him. He admitted, "I look at him as a killer. That's how I look at him. That's why I got to get him before he gets too good." So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos.